hour-long chase spanned multiple Southern California freeways. For BMW carjacking, suspects led authorities on a high-speed chase Tuesday morning, October 4, 2022, through the San Gabriel Valley and Los Angeles County on Highway 91.
Keep an eye on what he's doing right there, but wow, look at these moves. In and out, and then just, here we come again, and just squeezing through there. Now that motorcycle officer is going to have that ability to keep up, but that vehicle, he's going to have to kind of move along a little slower. But right now, even in this traffic, this suspect really pushing the limits out here. And this is again 210 freeway. We're going to be in the San Gabriel Valley area. We're making our way basically back to where we started. I'm kind of curious to see if he gets back onto the 605 where he was. Whoa, he did. I think he did. No, oh. See, and that's what I'm talking about. These people are just going to work this morning. Surely nobody was injured, but, you know, who wants that? And it is just, I know this sounds very unprofessional, but it's just not cool. And now, so the suspects keeping moving on here. Thank goodness nobody was hurt, but there's definitely two out of the areas that were really, really packed, which is not good because now we know he's just going to start speeding up once again.
The suspects were wanted for a home invasion robbery that turned into an armed robbery Tuesday morning in Walnut. The homeowner was home during that incident, and the suspect was captured on home security cameras in the garage. At approximately 7:10 a.m., Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department officers began pursuing the BMW in the Baldwin Park area, with the California Highway Patrol taking over shortly after. The driver of the BMW led authorities on a chase that spanned the 605, 210, 10, 5, 710, and 91 freeways.
Definitely, Tony. Well, anytime you see these suspects that are desperate to get away, they start getting cornered. That's one of the reasons why law enforcement doesn't box in vehicles like that, is because of that whole, need to flee type of mentality, and anything to make it happen. You're right. When we get into these tight situations, this person's been on the emergency lane, gore points, pushing his way through there. We saw two vehicles trying to get over to that far right lane. And also, yes, sure, he might be getting away from those officers that were right behind him, but he's basically driving himself into areas where more officers are waiting. Can't outrun the radio, and believe me, law enforcement definitely talking to one another, trying to put together a plan to bring this to an end, or at least be there when that vehicle stops. Hopefully it'll stop because of the driver just pulling over, possibly some other reason, but not a collision. Right now, though, he's making his way here on that emergency lane. High speeds, well, 51 miles an hour you might not be like, oh, that's hair-raising, but there's a lot of traffic. He's whizzing by these guys, most of these cars probably going 10 miles an hour, so he's going 5 times the speed of what they're driving. If one of those vehicles happens to make a turn, tries to get over to the right for any reason, this could be that collision that'll bring this to an end. Right now, though, looks like he's making his way over. He's had a lot of opportunities to get off the freeway, and he hasn't. So it just kind of makes me think that this seems to be the plan. Just going to stay here on that freeway as long as I can, and as soon as I say that, looks like, nope, it's still a long emergency lane, making his way back into traffic right there. Again, at least one law enforcement helicopter above. Law enforcement knows what's going on. That traffic down there, that's one of the reasons why California Highway Patrol might not be directly behind it right now, but I'm sure they will catch up, or there'll be somebody waiting for them, and they will re-engage this pursuit.
At times, the driver was weaving through traffic at high speeds, and at other times, he was driving on the side of the freeway. The suspect struck at least 3 vehicles during the more than hour-long chase.
Yeah, who knows? Oof. Okay. Are we the only ones here? Tony, I was just talking with my pilot, Jeff. He's busy with the other radio, so I would assume that there are some other helicopters here. But at this time, I've been told that the sheriff's department, the helicopter actually lost visual of it. So they're actually kind of relying on us to get the information to where this suspect is right now, and hopefully they can re-engage this pursuit. I'm sure that there are law enforcement somewhere, maybe California Highway Patrol, watching right now, getting the idea where this is, trying to get other officers in place to bring this to an end. The only thing I can say is that at least this vehicle seems to have slowed down. That driver possibly just getting that adrenaline rush coming to an end. Looks like we're on a transition road. I would guess we're back over to the 605, and we're going to be going southbound onto the 605. So basically going back the direction we came. There we go. There's the sheriff's ship right there. And so they probably have re-engaged Jeff, our pilot today, making the calls, talking to the law enforcement, letting them know where this vehicle is. Right now, we're on the transition. Looks like he's blending in a little bit right now, but that might just be because it's that transition, or maybe these kind of calmer heads are prevailing, and that driver possibly saying, okay, maybe I should just kind of pull over. I've taken all my chances. Let's just bring this to an end. That would be the hope. Oh, definitely. Older model 7 Series BMW. And, you know, these are V8s, big V8s. Again, it's older, but that doesn't mean much, especially with the more modern vehicles. He's moving along. You can see it right there, 70 miles an hour. He basically made his way back over to the fast lane, pretty much just kind of blending in with traffic, maybe a little faster than what's going on down there. Law enforcement, they have reacquired it, so they are making the calls right now, and they're just kind of following along. If he's going to be driving like this, there's a good possibility that it is a little bit of a calmer situation. They're just going to keep an eye on him. They're going to follow along. Once he gets off the freeway, that's when they're going to start making their moves. But the sheriff's department definitely not letting this one go. We've seen them in the past where they've just said too dangerous, the want or the reason for the chase, not worth the risk, and they've just let him go. This case, they have not. They are staying here. They're keeping an eye on it. They are talking and assisting the California Highway Patrol. So it is multi-agency right now would be a way to say it, but it's basically just law enforcement trying to get a bad guy off the road safely without anybody getting injured. Again, right now, southbound 605, making our way back to basically where we picked this up. He was on Valley. Valley Boulevard seemed to be in his favorite, but we were listening as we were making our way out here as Skyfox was joining that chase. So we'll see where he goes. Right now, as long as he stays on the freeway, not running any red lights, not going through any of those intersections, makes me a little bit calmer. That vehicle definitely really slowing down, and I'm wondering if he's trying to blend in or possibly there might be something wrong with that car. Yes, definitely. I mean, we're making our way back. That's what we can say. We drove away from where we started. We know that robbery happened in Walnut. Technically, I guess we're making our way back to the Walnut area. So maybe he lives nearby. Who knows what the circumstances were. But right now, starting to pick up some of those speeds again, using that right lane, which seems to be his favorite. And a lot of traffic here, southbound 605 this morning, making our way back over to the 60. That BMW is starting to use that emergency lane and really starting to pick up some speed again. So he must know that he's being followed. And again, who knows, he might have been on the cell phone. Those tinted windows, really, really tough for us to see what's going on in there. A lot of times we'll see the suspect using the phone, possibly making some phone calls, maybe trying to make some sort of plan. But right now, the tinted windows making it very difficult. But Araxia, you brought it up, I think, about other people in that vehicle. You just got to think, if there's more than one person in there, the other person has got to say, what are you doing? I don't want to die in a car accident. let's just pull over or stop and let me out or something. So I'm guessing possibly, more than likely, just one person in that car, hard all the way over to the left lane right there, and continuing in the emergency lanes. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the best ones for me when they just the vehicle runs out of gas that just comes to a stop, and then we see those suspects getting. Jesus, why did you do? Oh, that's why you did that. Had a car stopped in the emergency lane. Somebody was actually using the emergency lane for what it was used for. Did a hard turn right there. Thank goodness nobody got hurt. And again, continuing on, basically really picking up speeds again. 70 miles an hour. You can see how he's just zipping by all these other cars out there. So traffic's probably moving about 30 miles an hour this morning. Southbound 605, making our way back over to the 60. That's where we picked it up. I'm looking out the window. If he's going to take the 60, he's got to get over. Right now it looks like he's pretty well established in that left lane and just continuing on at high speeds. Law enforcement in the air making the calls. California Highway Patrol, they know about it, how to stop it. That seems to be the issue right now. Well, no real presence, and you got to look at it. I mean, it's like that's the bad guy right there. He doesn't have any rules. He doesn't have any kind of parameters that he has to work with. He can just basically, he or she can just do what they want. And law enforcement, they have to follow the rules. And again, we've talked about it. Safety, that's the biggest concern. And they're not going to drive like that, pushing their way through traffic. There was a motorcycle right there. They're not going to push their way through traffic. Looks like we're definitely getting off the, oh no, we're definitely just transitioned onto the 60 freeway, 10. We're on the 10. So making our way onto the 10 right now, and we're going to be heading westbound on the 10. And again, just making these wild moves, trying to push your way through that traffic. But one of the reasons why law enforcement not here is because of that dangerous driving. It's just not safe for them to stay there behind them or to make that effort and put other people's lives at risk. So that guy is running right now. They had a helicopter above it. They are aware of what's going on. They're making their calls. I can tell you there's probably officers all along the route ahead of him, basically just conveniently being in the area. If they're California Highway Patrol or other law enforcement, they're all aware of what's going on, and they all want to be there when this comes to an end to take this guy into custody. Eastbound 10, yes. I'm sorry about that. I kind of glad it was covered by another radio. We're definitely on the eastbound 10 freeway right now, so we are making our, actually, it's the westbound 10. It's definitely the westbound 10. I'm looking out the window. I can see downtown in the distance. So we're definitely on the westbound 10. The map might be a little off because of where we're looking, because he's in that carpool lane. Yeah, so we're definitely on the westbound 10 right now. So we got California Highway Patrol. They have their helicopter above it. The Sheriff's Department here as well. They're working together. And again, they are basically just trying to get, it's like a chess game. They're just trying to stay a couple of moves ahead of the bad guy. So when this comes to an end, they'll have law enforcement there to render aid and or just take this person into custody. Speed's really starting to pick up again here as we're making our way on the westbound 10, making our way through the El Monte area right now. Speeds and the freeway, I'm going to stay a little bit wider. It is pretty wide open there. And this would be a spot where some California Highway Patrol, sorry about that, could basically get behind it, make their presence known. But right now, maybe they're just not available. But this vehicle just kind of blending in with traffic this morning, now in that carpool lane, 72 miles an hour through the El Monte area. Oh, definitely. And a lot of times, I've had people ask me that. And yes, law enforcement, just because we're not seeing any action doesn't mean it's not happening. Behind the scenes, they're moving people around. They're trying to, like you said, seeing if this is a registered vehicle, where it's registered to. Is that person the driver? Could it be the driver? They'll have some information on that as well. They're doing all those things to keep the public safe, to keep their officers safe, and to bring this to an end in the smartest way, not just the quickest way. They just, if they can just follow this guy back to a location, they'll do that. They'll actually might even have law enforcement around the corner so that, when they show up, they'll just kind of pull into the driveway and officers will just magically appear. Right now, though, I'm not privy to any of that. Again, we also know that they can't use any spike strips because of all the other vehicles on the road right now, and a pit maneuver definitely out of the question unless he's on some side streets. And again, law enforcement on the ground, they might start to re-engage, especially now that the driving has mellowed and there is a little bit more spacing out here on the roadway and it's not that tight packed traffic. But right now their venture is they're following in the air, they're making their calls, they're getting their ducks in a row. That suspect continues to drive westbound. At least he has kept the speeds under 100 miles an hour. Yep, we've actually had that in the past as well. They've actually made phone calls to their cell phones, which is pretty amazing, that technology and the ability to do something like that. I'm just getting information from Jeff that actually the California Highway Patrol actually brought their fixed wing, so they actually have an airplane above this as well. That airplane has almost the same type of camera as Skyfox does, so they'll be able to take a peek and keep an eye on it, and possibly the reason why that plane is here is also just to keep an eye on where that vehicle is. The helicopter definitely going to be more maneuverable, going to be able to stay a little bit lower. All these folks are making calls, getting the guys on the ground heads up where they're going, where they're going to be. I'm looking out the window. Of course, we've got the map out there, but we are making our way into the East LA area, 710 freeway, not too far away, but the pursuit definitely continues. Now more of a following, as there is no black and white behind it, no reds and blues flashing. And I saw him make that turn there, and it does look like he's starting to blend into traffic. Possibly the 710 might be his choice. Copy. Yes. Probably another 20 minutes. Give us a call in about 20. Yes. Coming. Whoop, there goes his tire. There goes his tire. Yep, his tire. There's his tire. I bet you that happened when he cut that one person off. I'm going to see if I can get Jeff to get over to the other side of the vehicle so we can get a peek of that. But he definitely lost a tire right there on the passenger rear, it looked like. So if he starts really starting to slow down, that's going to be the reason why. Also, the problems might be he might start losing a lot of maneuverability if that tire is totally gone. We're going to try to see what we can do here. But right now, it would definitely look like he lost the tire, and I bet you that happened when he clipped that one car. Probably was just enough to get that tire to start going. Right now, though, I got to get my pilot's attention and see if we can get onto the passenger side of the vehicle. They're definitely going to I got the word from Jeff. He's talking to the law enforcement that they are definitely going to re-engage the pursuit. And it does look like he lost the front wheel. And that just, I mean, it just sent chills through me because now he's going to have the problem of braking. He's going to have a problem of maneuverability. That motorcycle officer. Yeah, that motorcycle officer definitely can be there. There's very little he can do against that vehicle, meaning there's no way he's going to bump into it or do any kind of pit maneuver, but definitely lost that front wheel, so his steering is going to be a little off. This is going to be one of those spots where hopefully I don't lose it because he's going to be going underneath a lot of stuff right there. Let me see if we can get ahead of him here, see if he stays on the freeway or he tries to get off the freeway. There he is, right there, the older BMW, and still making his way. That's the first time we got a shot, maybe even through that front window. It definitely looked like it was just the driver in that vehicle. But take a look at this car. He's rolling around three tires and 4 rims, and still driving at 50 miles an hour. And making his way onto the 710, I believe. Let me get a little bit wider. And at least he's staying on the freeway, so he doesn't have to do too much maneuvering or hard braking. But again, California Highway Patrol choosing to use their motorcycles, probably because of the traffic, lights and sirens. That's going to give at least the civilians, the folks on the road, heads up that something's going on. But that front wheel, definitely, the front tire, definitely gone. Running on that rim right now, and at 70 miles an hour down the 710. You'd think, but those rims are probably pretty solid. Even though that's going to be some sort of aluminum rim right there. Right now, as long as he's not hitting any bumps or hitting the brakes really hard, that rim will roll for quite a while. But you are right. It's definitely going to start giving that vehicle problems. He's definitely a little bit lower in the front. If he goes over a big bump, he might actually lose part of his some other parts under the vehicle that'll bring this to a stop sooner. But right now, running on 3 tires, that rim is definitely probably going to be getting hotter, but you haven't seen him doing any hard braking, so that's going to be a plus. But as soon as he starts doing those hard braking, hard turns, that rim will start to crumble, and that's just going to bring this car to a stop. Hopefully that's going to happen sooner than later. As we're continuing now southbound 710 freeway, East Los Angeles area. Sorry, I did not. I lost him there for a second. We'll see him here just in a moment. There he is. That's what I was trying to do, but we keep losing him here behind these overpass. I got to get Jeff to get a little bit more over. Yes, he has 2 officers behind him and also now a cruiser as well. With that vehicle, missing that whole wheel and just running on that rim, hopefully that's going to bring this thing to an end sooner. But right now, as long as he's not hitting those brakes, as long as we're not seeing sparks off of that rim is going to hold for quite some time. Again, California Highway Patrol definitely in pursuit. You've got 1 cruiser back there and then a couple of motorcycles. Traffic, it is starting to get a little bit thicker out here, but it's not what we saw earlier on. And again, with that wheel, with that tire missing, it's going to be really difficult for him to make those maneuvers that we saw earlier on. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol, you've got that cruiser right there, and you can see him. Yeah, he's getting closer, but he can't really do much. The only thing he can do is that command presence, kind of just let him know, hey, I'm right behind you. You can see me. And just bring this to an end before somebody gets hurt. I'm not sure. It's definitely a transition, and it's definitely going to be really, really slow as we make our way southbound out here. And we'll get you some freeways here in just a moment. 5. Yeah. Yes. is not. Yeah. Yeah. And it definitely looks like I was really pushing in there. If there's somebody in the backseat, which I would find to be unusual, but we've seen very unusual things here, it looks like he's in the front there by himself, nobody in the passenger seat, but continuing to just drive along out here. Those high speeds and maneuverability might have just tapped that Prius a little bit, probably not because it didn't stop, but definitely getting to some thick traffic out here. We're on the 5 freeway. It's always a lot of traffic out here, but as soon as he starts hitting those brakes and starting to start and stop, that rim's going to start coming apart, and then he's going to that is going to bring this thing to an end. Hopefully it will just be something like that. I really like to see this driver just coming to a stop. I don't think he's going to, though. It really seems like his plan is he thinks he can get away for some reason. How often have we seen that? Usually not. I would say that there's been one or two, but in this case, you've got that rim. You're down to the rim. Big BMW, morning traffic, all these eyes on you. My guess is you just pull over. Just pull over right now. Yeah. Whoa, toe! Oh, no! Oh, no. Yeah, and and he just kept on going. These BMWs, I don't want to sound like that guy, but these BMWs are very, very solid. It is a big, solid car. It weighs a lot, has a big engine in it, a lot of power, and you just saw it just push that, it looked like an Acura, just kind of out of the way. He basically got in front of it. The suspect did basically a pit maneuver on that person that just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now just keeping going. He is picking up a little bit of speed out here. I'm kind of wondering if the California Highway Patrol he is still right there behind him. I'm sure they probably have another unit that's going to be assisting that vehicle that just basically got pitted out there. But this suspect continuing on out here, a little bit higher speeds. Again, I just can't say it enough. I just want to see this thing come to an end, just to a stop. And and that suspect, though, I hate to say it, it really seems senseless. You're not going to get away. It's going to come to an end. Why are you causing all these problems? Why are you putting so many people's lives at risk? So far, we've just had some damage, but still, that person just driving to work today or maybe taking their kids to school, and now they have this to deal with. There we go. It's back. Yeah. Yes, I got you guys. I got you guys if you're not hearing me. Yes, sir. There's a passenger? Okay. Copy. Whoop, 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 whoop. Maybe they have the idea that this is the safest route for them right now. With the vehicle being damaged. I don't understand the mentality of I'm going to get away. You're not. If he has a destination in mind, where is he going? We've been driving for quite some time. We're getting some information now, unconfirmed. There possibly is a passenger in the front seat. Earlier on, maybe if the opportunity arises, we'll try to look through that front window again. Because now we're hearing that there's two people in that vehicle, and when this comes to something else just came out of the car. I wonder if they just threw something out. Yeah, they're throwing things out of the vehicle right there. It looks like paperwork and things like that. So I'm going to see if we can get Skyfox back up onto the other side so we can see that passenger side. Definitely makes me believe that there are two people inside that vehicle, seeing as stuff is coming out of that out of the car. Now, if that was evidence possibly of the crime, that was, again, is one of those things. They'll just pick it up. Everybody's seeing this right now. There's plenty of video evidence that it's coming out of the car. So right now, this pursuit continuing on. We're southbound on the 5, Montebello area. I'm sorry, in the Southgate. Still continuing to be very pushy, just kind of pushing his way through this, a lot of these other vehicles here. We've seen a couple of contact, that one where he spun that car around. I hope that person is okay. I can't imagine any kind of serious injury. But again, this BMW continuing to move along here on the right lane now. 3 tires, 4 rims, and a driver seeming to be very desperate, or at least trying to prove a point this morning. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. I can't say that enough. Looks like maybe we're going to get an off-ramp here. No, that's just dust from the emergency lane. But it looks. Oh, I thought maybe we're going to be getting on an off ramp right there, but we are definitely not. So this car continuing moving along here, 60 miles an hour, lesser traffic, just going about probably 30 or 40. Just spun it around, and that's what I'm saying. I'm hopeful that that driver might have injuries, but probably nothing life-threatening. That car just basically spinning around right there, facing the wrong way. We don't know. Hopefully nobody else collided with it afterwards. This BMW now kind of blending a little bit into traffic. I got to get Jeff to get us a little bit more over it. I don't want to lose it behind a sound wall here. But we saw this. Now we believe that there's 2 people in that vehicle, at least 2. Somebody was throwing some things out of that car. Don't know if that was a distraction or possibly trying to get rid of some of the evidence that during that burglary. But still taking these very dangerous maneuvers. I hope that the driver's plan is not to bump into somebody and create a problem. Because he seems to be getting very, very close to some of these other vehicles, but definitely something else just coming off there. So maybe the car is starting to come apart. If that's happening, that's good, because it'll help bring this thing to an end. Right now, though, still very dangerous. A lot of other folks out there on the roadway, they don't know what's going on, but the driver is really starting to get aggressive, and now he's starting to hit the brakes. We need to get on to the other side. Hang on. Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's starting to come apart here. Pieces are coming apart. He's starting to get a little wobbly. He needs to slow this thing down before this becomes something other than what we're seeing right now. Definitely that wheel's starting to come apart. And eventually, as soon as you start hitting those brakes, you know that rim is going to start coming apart. Once a piece comes off, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. So he's going to lose his front wheel, and is still trying to push this car. Still trying to push it. We're going to clean this shot up, but yep, that wheel is completely off the spindle and wrapped around there, and he is still driving at freeway speeds, just pushing that car. He's going to push this thing until the car stops. Hopefully he doesn't push this thing into somebody else's vehicle. Right now, the passenger in there as well. That car probably screaming inside there. I can imagine what the noise is. Sounds like in there, but you can totally see that wheel just wrapped around that front there, and this vehicle speeds continue on. Now he's behind that big rig, but we're going to catch up here. He should just pull this thing over, try to bring it to a stop. California Highway Patrol close by, but definitely this is not what we wanted to see this morning, and it's going to have to stop. Yeah, and hopefully this isn't going to turn out to be some sort of stand-up. I'm wondering if they have any information that these people were armed in any way. I'm going to get a little bit wider shot right now just in case he has to stop and we won't be able to see it. But right now, that the car definitely coming apart. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Just And, he's just grinding it down and grinding it down. Hopefully it'll start getting to the point where, he'll lose something important, very important, like an oil pan. Start losing that oil, that engine will come to a stop, or possibly the vehicle starting to overheat, getting pushed so hard. But right now you can see this car still rolling around here. Three tires, that's it. That front wheel is actually probably hindering that driving, if anything else. I can't imagine he has any kind of solid maneuverability as this continues on. Southbound 5 freeway. And at speeds, like you said, I was shocked. I was actually just, I was doing the camera there. I was shocked when you said the speed. I looked up and I was like, oh my God, this guy is really going 70 miles an hour. There we go. The rim totally gone now, completely gone. So now he's rolling on 3 wheels, and that actually might have given him a little bit more maneuverability, but it's not going to give him any stopping power, and it's definitely not going to give him any kind of ability to make a sharp turn, as in getting off the freeway. California Highway Patrol joining in again right there, and it's a lot more smoke coming out of it, probably because he's trying to brake. I'm going to get Jeff to get us away from the sound wall as we're making our way off the freeway there. Probably the best bet, but I'm really wondering what is he going to do when he gets to the bottom of the freeway. He's not going to have any kind of braking power, and I'm wondering if this car is going to even continue afterwards. Right on his tail. Yeah, this would be the time to do the pit maneuver if they could do it. And it looks like we're just going to be getting back onto the freeway. This is, I'm speechless. I'm completely speechless. Bizarre, and it just gets stranger and stranger. That car continues to move along. The freeway seems to be kind of open, like maybe they did some sort of traffic break. They could do a pit maneuver at high speeds. I've seen the LAPD do it at 50 miles an hour one time on a freeway that did roll over the vehicle, but maybe that's part of their plan, is maybe they can clear out the freeway, maybe they can make their way over there and then basically be a little bit more aggressive. This vehicle continues to go 70, 80 miles an hour. It is definitely on 3 wheels. That the car is definitely grinding every now and then. It's just the chassis just bottoming out whenever they hit a bump or anything. The wobbling is what worries me, because I just don't want to see them lose control and hit other folks just driving to work this morning. Yep. It could be that rear bumper definitely hanging off the back there. Probably not too much of a problem, but I'm wondering the stuff that's coming out from the front, the rim coming apart, those pieces might have taken out the rear passenger as well, the rear passenger tire. Let's be clear with that. But this car continuing, this driver just keeps on pushing it. Look at the freeway though. Look at the freeway. That's not morning traffic for sure. I'm sure. They have basically moved some of or did a traffic break. You have some cars out there right now, but California Highway Patrol, they're getting up very, very close to it. Hopefully they'll be able to do some sort of pit maneuver, bring this thing to an end. I have a feeling that if this car does spin around, even though it is a big BMW and you can clearly see rolling around on 3 wheels, grinding that chassis down, it's still going. Maybe that kind of spinning it around will stall the motor and it may not restart, but right now, 2 people in that car, as we understand it, and this pursuit continues. Thank goodness nobody's been hurt, but it is not over. I'll try. Jeff, can we get to the other side? All right, I hear you. Can we just go to like Fullerton? All right. Well, whatever we're getting close to.
At approximately 7:50 a.m., the vehicle lost its right front tire, but continued on westbound Interstate 10, later losing use of the right front wheel, which became stuck in the wheel well.
A lot of smoke coming out of that car, and a lot of parts still flying out of the front of it. Once that wheel was gone, you're basically down to the you're down to the hub, and you've got pieces flying off. And it's looks like it just hit that other car right there. I'm sure a lot of that stuff is not plastic. I'm sure that is a lot of pieces of metal. That's going to be a lot of that hub. A lot of the steering is going to be down there as well, and it's all just grinding and starting to fall off the car. This is going to basically help bring. Oh, see, this is the reason why I didn't want to get over here, because if we did get off the freeway, we might not be able to see it because of the sound wall. But right now, he's still continuing on. This is going to be one of those spots. I mean, we've seen it in the past. He's basically just makes his way through, but okay. All right, staying on the road, not getting on the freeway, that's a big plus. I was surprised as well. This is this older BMW. These are great cars. We've seen them in a lot of movies. There's a reason why a lot of diplomats were picking these vehicles back in the day, and this is probably one of the reasons why. But right now, this car is in the wrong hands, doing the wrong things, and law enforcement just wants to bring it to a stop before he collides with somebody, creating injury to somebody else. Wrong side of the road, rowing the wrong way, going the wrong way. Oh, my goodness. Oh, jeez. It's amazing that this thing is just keeping on going. Right now, we're getting back onto another freeway. This would be a spot, of course, behind the trees, would be a spot where they could be able to do that pit maneuver. But he definitely, that driver knows. That driver somehow knew. He started really speeding up as he made his way back onto the freeway out here. Now we're on the 91. I also have to put it out there that Skyfox is running out of fuel, and I don't want to say that, but it is what it is, and we're going to stay with it as long as we can. If we keep heading this direction, we're going to be getting this closer to some other airports. But right now, though, you can definitely see this vehicle coming apart. That front wheel being held on by pieces, and that's a part of it too. If that comes apart at these speeds on the freeway, and a big chunk of that comes off, that could hurt some people as well. There goes the rear bumper. Yep, there goes the rear bumper. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine. Yeah. Yeah, drive it till the wheels fall off. This guy is taking that to the actual literal meaning. Right now, it looks like we're getting back off onto an off-ramp, more parts of the car coming off there. That front wheel, I'm surprised the rim is still there. I thought it had fallen off. It's just basically sideways about halfway, at least up to the hub right now. Still continuing on, this vehicle just, and every time he hits those bumps, yeah. Yep, he's got his foot in it, and he's got 3 wheels, and he is definitely going to drive this thing till all the wheels fall off. There, yeah, yep. You just got to kind of wonder what California Highway Patrol. I mean, these guys want to bring this thing to an end. More pieces coming apart. At least he's off to the side, and if it happens over here, it'll just go off the roadway. But when he's out there in traffic, and that starts happening like that, that rim coming off at 80 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, that could be a real problem for anybody that might be nearby. Continuing on there, some of those big rigs passing him. It looks like, I wonder if the car just keeps pulling off to the right. I mean, it just because he's missing all those parts. Yeah, definitely. There we go. And pit him. Do it. I'm sorry. He almost had that opportunity right there, but even at those speeds, they want to bring this thing to an end, but they have to be safe, and they have to keep the safety of the officers in mind and the suspect. I can't clarify that enough. These officers are, they are thinking about the safety of that lunatic behind the wheel, and right now it's swerving around. Yep, that is true, especially with now we're back in traffic. But it looks like, let's see if he's going to try to use that off ramp. But definitely in the emergency lane. I'm wondering if he slides off the roadway, that might disable the vehicle in a way where, you know, if he gets stuck in the dirt, maybe he just can't go. But right now, still continuing on and making his way. Looks like we're going to. I'm just getting a little bit farther ahead to see if we have an off ramp. Yeah, see if he uses that off ramp once again. I don't know. Jeff, they're asking for when we really have to leave. Okay, we have another solid 10 as long as we stay around Long Beach. Yeah. This car just falling apart, and this is actually the good side of the car, as it would be. The other side is the one that really has all the damage on it. Continuing on, this is, you know, I have to poke a little fun at it every now and then, but it really is very, very dangerous this morning, and there's so many close calls out here. We haven't seen, thank goodness, we haven't seen any serious injuries, but this driver continuing to push this car, trying to to get away. He's not going to get away. But right now, if something was in front of him and he had to brake hard, I find it hard to believe that that vehicle could stop in a timely manner. And that's really what I'm concerned about. And I'm sure a lot of the law enforcement watching as well are thinking that same thing. 91 freeway, you can see it right there. Speeds 50 miles an hour. The rest of the vehicle is probably going about 30. This one clearly disabled and still getting very, very close to a lot of these other cars. I'm surprised the blinker still works on that BMW. Look at that. Jesus. They're right there. They're right there. Yeah. Yeah, they're right there. The lights and sirens are definitely going to be helping the situation. You can see the California Highway Patrol, they have the advantage right now. That officer is slowing down every now and then speeding up when needed, when safe. That's probably the better way to say it, when safe. More parts of that rim just flying off and probably hitting a lot of these other vehicles right there. Again, you know, people at home might be like, oh, you got a chip in your paint, big deal. I like my car. I don't want to have any chips in my paint. And, you know, and this guy just kind of just flying through there. More and more parts just keep flying off of the car as he's passing all these vehicles. Is something to watch for sure. And California Highway Patrol, I'm sure they're thinking almost the same thing. Maybe they're just hoping that, look at all that stuff coming off of it. So, yeah, definitely. I'm sure that what we're seeing is parts of that rim. I thought that whole rim had come off earlier on, but it was still there. And it looks like here we go. It maybe the car is starting to give up. There's the rest of the bumper. It looks like he's trying to push his way through, and it's continuing on. Let's see what law enforcement. You see, law enforcement, they have to follow the rules. They have to be safe. What happened? Oh no, I thought maybe he hit that bar there on the truck. This would be the time, right? Yep. Yes. Oh! And you know, those maneuvers, they look so easy and so simple when we watch them, but they're not. These guys are highly trained. They have to do it right at the right moment, and they have to stay safe. But you can see that they're aggressively trying. When the opportunity appears, that driver, that CHP officer, definitely going to get a gold star when he gets back to base today, at least for effort, trying and keeping up with him. If he gets off the freeway, I think that CHP officer is going to be very aggressive and try to do that pit maneuver. I think we were there a while ago. We passed that point. That's the point of no return. Yeah, this BMW keeps on driving. It's amazing that the other tires are holding on. That front one, don't know how he lost it, but at least he did. And again, California Highway Patrol right on this tail right there. It's had to slow down probably because of some safety issues. Oh, he hit a cone. So that definitely means that there is some construction coming up. I'm wondering if the emergency lane might be closed out here. If it is, that might create some more problems for that driver. But right now, I'm kind of hoping he just gets off the freeway. The CHP can do that pit maneuver, and everybody can go home happy. Here we go again. He might be able to do that. As long as he's around those other vehicles, they're not going to be able to do it because they don't want that vehicle spinning out into somebody else's car or property. So right now, continuing on, 63 miles an hour, older BMW 7 Series on that emergency lane, California Highway Patrol right behind him. Look at all that smoke coming out the bottom. He has got to be bottomed out. He has got to be bottomed out. All that heat being created. There's got to be some oil. I'm surprised something hasn't caught fire as already underneath that car. He did open up the sunroof, but a lot more smoke coming out of the bottom of the car. Hopefully that thing is going to, maybe he's starting to get smoke inside the car. That could be as well because of something's definitely changing right there. Something is definitely changing. Here we go. Oh. Okay. And doors open. Is he really going to try to run? Oh, what's CHP doing? Okay. Jesus, guys. 2 people inside. We were asked by law enforcement to keep an eye on the passenger. So we're going to keep an eye on this guy right there the best we can while the California Highway Patrol is, if I can keep an eye on both of them, I definitely will. But they usually separate there. Got on the other side of the freeway. Jeff, we need to get over to the we're moving Skyfox the best we can. We'll keep an eye on him. To get away. I hope they don't try to carjack anybody. That's kind of what I'm worried about right there. You know, there he goes. That's the driver. I don't know what happened to the other guy. Yeah. He is definitely trying to get somebody, which is, they're both right there. And there we go. Oh, there's law enforcement. Hello. Yeah. It looks like he has some sort of injury to his hand. Looks like he hurt his hand somehow. Yeah, definitely. Whew! That was a chase. Definitely. I'm just going a little bit wider. I wanted to see where the car was, but my pilot has been stretching it here in Skyfox. We needed fuel at 8 o'clock, so we are definitely on our reserves. We got both of them in custody. The dog didn't get to play, but got them both in custody. Nobody seriously hurt. That's huge as well. But what a pursuit this morning! Wow. Yeah.
By approximately 8:15 a.m., the pursuit made its way into Orange County and onto surface streets, including Beach Street in the Anaheim area. The vehicle eventually lost its rear bumper. The vehicle quickly returned to westbound Interstate 91, and the pursuit remained on that highway until the BMW struck the back of a truck near Downey Street. At approximately 8:30 a.m., the vehicle crashed and came to a stop on westbound Interstate 91 at Downey Street in North Long Beach. Two suspects fled the disabled vehicle and raced across all lanes of Highway 91 during rush-hour traffic in an attempt to evade police. One narrowly avoided hitting a vehicle on the eastbound side. The men were arrested after a short chase on the freeway. The suspects were eventually caught along the eastbound side of the freeway. The other two remained in the vehicle after it collided with the large truck and became disabled, and were later taken into custody.